All right, so I'm on the project thing. I was putting in some of the stuff for the competitive analysis because it kind of looks like number four goes very well with number three, um,
The SWAT.
the SWOT stuff.
I know that we got the SWAT from James,
Hmm.
and I haven't paid a lot of attention to it, but we need to because he's not doing that part. He put it in, but I don't know if he has enough detail on there because I kind of swayed him from a lot of detail on it, but the example has a lot more detail in their SWAT. Does that make sense? There's
It
several.
it does, but I think his looks a lot cooler.
Okay, good. I mean, as long as it says what we want it to say, we may need to
Yeah,
go in there and make sure that it matches what we found in our interviews because
right.
this whole project has not been, I didn't know at the beginning that all this was based on the interview summaries. I've never
Right.
heard that at all until this.
So this week,
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, if I had known that, we wouldn't have done our SWOT first.
right?
You know,
It's
we
like
would,
we totally
we
wouldn't have done
also,
stupid with
we've
number
done a lot
one.
of stuff. We've had a lot of people working on a lot of things because I thought we were supposed to be working on the project because it didn't tell us not to. And it had project assignment stuff. I don't know.
Mhm.
I just didn't
Yeah.
understand that. So
Yeah, I'm a
we,
little salty about it too. So,
yeah, now we'll know. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the next project will be totally opposite. I don't know how it's going.
right? Yeah.
Anyway, um, I feel like we're really ahead though, which is good because we got our interviews done last week. I don't
Hmm.
know, maybe I was the only one who assumed that it said do the interview summary or the interview, just the discussion thing. And I just took that to mean that whole assignment, do the appendix. That's what I thought it said to do.
Right. It's
And
what it sounded like.
yeah,
But on the other side, like I looked through this week for the things that we have due, and we don't have nearly the amount of we normally have for this week. So I
no,
think we're supposed to focus on
because
this.
all of our interviews were supposed to take place this week. So
Hmm.
that was our hours in the class, the interviews and writing up the interviews. But we did that last week. So this week should be a fairly easy week, is what I'm saying. I'm
Right.
glad for that, but still, I wish that it was clearer. I feel like it hasn't been very clear, and I'm just assuming
Yeah.
things. And I don't know,
It's
just
kind
me
of
or if it's everybody. I don't know.
no, it's not just you. I feel like that way even with the book. Like I get to those quizzes and I don't even know what they're asking about.
Yeah, the quiz. I can't get 100. I got 100 on the quizzes. I think I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know, and it's open book. I cannot find the
Mhm.
answers.
Me neither. Like my wife, because she's studying nursing, she's studying for like the NCLEX. And like I had like after I took the test and she like she went and she explained to me why some of the answers should have been what they were just because of the wording. And it's like, but I'll like I once I'll put it like this. I once took a quiz without reading the book, and I got a C, and then without then when I actually read the book, I totally failed it. Like it was miserable.
Hmm.
But
It's the same. At least it's not a big part of our grade, but I've been
right,
annoyed by that.
yeah, because I mean most textbooks have like pretty clear stuff, but content, but this time, like one of the questions was talking about focus groups, but there was like two sentences on focus groups,
Uh huh.
and that to
I
me
don't know
wasn't
where we were
enough.
supposed to get more information. I don't.
Me
I don't
neither.
know.
But I am really grateful that our projects and other stuff is worth more than
Hmm.
that portion of our test.
And I like having a rubric to go by because if we write our project to that rubric, we will do fine.
Hmm.
I think. I don't know. I've been nervous about this project for some reason. I'm nervous about only some parts of it. I am very good at taking all the project that's all the stuff and turned in, put it into one document, proofread it, make it all look consistent throughout, and the pretty up, the end
Right.
stuff. Writing the stuff and I did the interview summary totally fine. That was no problem. but the part that we've been assigned, you and I've been struggling with. I can pick out the things that I feel like McDonald's needs to focus on, but I'm not sure how to incorporate that into the grid. So I'm hoping that you seem like you've had a little more success doing that this week than I have felt like I've been able to do. Also, yesterday didn't give me the time that I had hoped to go over everything, but I've been going through, I'm about halfway through everybody's interview summaries.
Oh, okay.
And highlighting the important things that I feel like they all said over and over and over again.
Right.
And it's pretty clear that they want a clean restaurant, healthy options, and what was the other thing? Well, I've got them. I mean, I can look at them and tell you why I can't just say that off the top of my head. There were 3 or 4 things. Definitely healthy options and clean and, good customer service. And convenience, I guess. Anyway, advertising isn't a huge factor for people.
No, it's not. I was like, they spend so much, and basically, like what I read was that it comes down to how close they were to McDonald's, and if there wasn't anything else, really.
Yeah, that's what we're getting. And so, it's taste. They like it to taste good, fast food. Taste, convenience, healthy, and cleanliness. That's basically what I'm getting. And I will send you this document. I can do it now, or I can finish what I was doing. I never got Brandon's things. He told me he'd get them done by 10 o'clock.
Oh, really?
And he said it would be no problem. Because I emailed him last night and said, we're looking for those because we're doing our part. We're having a meeting in the morning on our part of it. Yeah. He said, I'm so sorry. It's just been crazy here. And I said, well, can you have them done by 10? I mean, I understand being busy, but we need them by 10 a.m.
Right.
And I don't see them. I'm going to email him again. And I finally got Steven to respond. And he was just super apologetic, saying that he's crazy and busy and his work schedule hasn't been what he thought. And he's behind on every class. And I said, well, I understand that, but we need you to respond. Thank you for responding finally. Right. And he said he'd do the executive summary after we're all done with our parts. So I put that in the email I sent out last night, that he'll do the executive summary. And so he'll have, at least a part. And it sounds like Brandon's busy because he's not getting his stuff done. So I'm like, well, I'll take one thing off of him, what he said he would do.
Yeah, I don't want to sound bad, but I think we'll need to really double check if he does it or not.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Definitely. I mean, we do not, on this, for our team, I think that's one thing to really reiterate on Friday in our meeting. And I do think we need to meet, is that everybody needs to look at every part of it. You're doing your part and you're responsible for that part, but you need to make sure that it doesn't contradict or that it supports all the other parts of what we're saying.
Right.
So because, unfortunately, that means a little extra work because of the way we did it, because we thought it was just kind of you take this part and do it. We didn't know it was all based on our interviews. But I mean, it makes sense now, but it didn't really come across that way at first.
No, and yeah, I mean, it's still due on the 18th. So, that's the odd part. I mean, probably should have started with the interviews with the way that he talked about it. But
I know. I don't know why that wasn't what we did the very first week.
Right. Oh. Yeah, I don't know, because we didn't even need to know really about target markets or segmentation to really do interviews about McDonald's.
Right. I think
people would go there.
Yeah, I don't know. I am confused.
Yeah.
Whatever. Now, do you feel like so the example of the interview summaries that we have, well, I think I saw one that's like what we have, where it's just a big old paragraph for each person, but then the other. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought I saw one like that.
There was one with strengths and one with weaknesses.
Yeah, that one that had 3 different things or something.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to separate all of ours. I think we have to leave it this way. It's too much.
Yeah.
You feel like it's all right, though?
Yeah, I think it is. Do we have one that's got all of the interviews together?
a document that's got ours. I have it. I'm doing it.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to upload it right now, and then I'll work on it from the drive. Let me do that.
Okay.
I just had started it last night, and I didn't upload it, but I'm going to do that right now.
Thanks. Yeah, I didn't quite do as much yesterday night as I would have preferred either. I had a different class project that took a lot of collaboration. But that's just how it goes. We believe in meetings, we talk of meetings, and we will have many more meetings. That's the 15th article of faith, right?
Yeah. Cool one, for sure. All right, so I just uploaded, it's just called Interview Summaries. I'm going to make it, hold on, I'm going to open it in Google Docs.
Okay. Could it be like all interview summaries?
Yeah, I'll change that.
Okay, because, yeah, there was somebody else who had interview summaries.
It's called All Interview Summaries. You're in here, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it doesn't include Brandon's because he's not in.
Right.
And the highlighted stuff is where I focused on what I felt like would be good targeting. What they were saying that they wanted to have in a fast food restaurant, or specifically McDonald's. Like, I don't know, some of them I highlighted more than others. It just came out as important when I was reading through it. And you can see where I stopped highlighting. That's where I haven't gone yet.
Yeah, that's fine. That is fine.
So, what are you laughing at?
Oh, the Super Size Me.
Yeah, that's seriously, cool. My friend was telling me, she's like, I'm totally turned off to McDonald's. Ever since I saw that movie, it has made me feel like, you see what she said at the end of the thing. Well, maybe you're not looking at that one. There was someone else that mentioned Super Size Me, but she said that she thinks of fat, obese people when she thinks of McDonald's. That's what comes to mind. And she doesn't go, except she did go once last year because someone was meeting her there. She didn't want to be rude. So with their kids, it was an indoor thing for their kids to do.
Oh man, that's super funny. It's like, the other thing is that guy deliberately did not exercise or do anything besides eat the biggest thing he could. Like, I've seen that show too. He like purposely made himself fat.
And you can do that with any food. It doesn't take just McDonald's to make you fat.
No.
And
especially if you order like the biggest thing, even if your body doesn't need it. Oh man.
So it wasn't really fair, but that's what she saw, and now she's very, very against it. So anyway.
So the competitors that I saw from the interviews was mostly Chick-fil-A, Panda Express, and Arby's. There was a couple of mentions of pizza and Taco Bell, but I heard more about Arby's, Chick-fil-A, and Panda Express. So that's who I put in our competitive analysis.
Okay. I saw some mention of Burger King as well, but I agree with, for sure, Panda. I heard a lot, and Chick-fil-A. For sure. And I did see Taco Bell a few times. So, yeah, that sounds good because we can't do every one of them.
No. And in the samples, they just had 3. So I thought that the 3 that I saw the most would be pretty good.
Okay.
But yeah, Wi-Fi didn't really seem to affect people's...
No, only one person really cared about the Wi-Fi, and that was my son, who's like, yeah, I don't like to use my data up, and so I'm happy to have Wi-Fi when I'm in McDonald's.
Right.
I'm like,
I think like reading some of the younger people's stuff, like who they were with influenced their choice where to go a lot more than anything else. Like,
now, people who had kids, That was like the only reason some people would go is because of their kids.
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's specifically. So children tend to influence an adult who would normally not go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
And friends of a teenager would influence someone to go to McDonald's. Adults who have their own choice with no other influence typically choose not to go. That's what I saw clearly. So are you filling out one of the grids right now, or how is that going? What should I be open to right now?
Okay, so if you open up the Project 1B marketing due February 18th, I'm working on the competitive analysis. And then there was a couple of questions that they wanted us to ask specifically about that. And as we've been talking, I've just been trying to pay attention to what are the strengths and weaknesses part, which is question 3. It's page 6 and 7. And you are an anonymous goose.
How come I'm not me?
I don't know. You're you on the other one.
Aren't I usually me in these things?
You normally are. Yeah. And you have the brand positioning statement. Yeah, the positioning of all these various stuff, I'm not quite sure because I feel like step 3, the competitive environment, like in all the different samples that I saw, like it went segmentation, dimension, and then competitive analysis, and then the target market selection.
Yeah, and then the brand positioning would be last.
Mm-hmm. Right after that.
So was this our sample that we were given to work from? Has it before that? Is that what you're saying? Or why is the brand positioning where it is, I guess?
Oh, that is because we didn't have the sample before we had written that down.
Okay, so we should move it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we could cut it and then paste it down after the target market.
Okay, so the competitive analysis. Okay. So the one thing that we saw, like the one example, well, we've seen a couple, I guess, but the most recent example had only 3 competitors on the competitive analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm curious on Panda why you would put health conscious there as their target.
They cared, if I remember right, going to the interviews, I'm going to find Panda. Press. They put it as number 1, or a lot of them put it as number 1. One of them said because they liked it because they like Chinese food. A lot of them said that the quality of the food is a lot better.
Okay, that I agree with quality, and I agree with from what I read, the quality and how it tastes. I don't remember it equating to healthy for people, but I could have missed that. I'm not all the way through them, like I said, but I remember healthy being more related to Chick-fil-A because it's chicken and it's better than a burger.
Right.
So I see the health conscious on Chick-fil-A. But the taste and quality of food for Panda is what I remember more.
Mm-hmm.
So Arby's, I don't remember much about the Arby's one. I haven't seen much mention yet in the ones that I've read. So it could be impulse. I don't know. That could be right.
Yeah, there was a couple of chaps, Henry and Daniel. They talked about Arby's.
Okay.
Yeah, I just did a control find search on the
document.
Document, yeah.
That sounds good because now we've got all kind of several different buying groups identified, rusher, impulse buyers, and health conscious. So we have the impulse buyers, health conscious kind, and people who prefer taste and quality.
Mm-hmm.
So How about on Chick-fil-A, we just say impulse buyers instead of rush or impulse buyers, or on Arby's, add the rush so that they're the same?
Yeah.
Or should we just select one per restaurant, one thing to focus on per restaurant? Or should, I guess, but Chick-fil-A was both. I mean, it was a
It
lot of
was
both.
both. Yeah. I think one or two qualities is pretty good. Um, Let me see. Sample projects. Market selection. Yeah, in the competitive analysis of the sample for the Netflix, like one of them had, it looks like four, and then Hulu had one, and then Redbox had two. So,
On the apparent target markets?
uh-huh.
Okay.
So I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
Um, the strengths, though, I think we could add some more strengths. But
Yeah. Um, Arby's, what great taste, and um, what I guess we could look at the people who mentioned Arby's and see if there was any other reason they mentioned them.
yeah,
We could go
so
there.
Arby's and no rush. Arby's is his favorite place to go. It seems like Arby's is a little slower than
Yeah.
places. Um,
Lower service.
yeah, about to say throughput.
Well, that's a business term for sure. But let's take it to normal standard English on this.
Right. Anyone should understand this. Oh man. But yeah, that was the other thing. Like I saw that Chick-fil-A and Arby's and Panda Express aren't always as in many places as McDonald's is.
Yeah, McDonald's has definitely got them all beat as far as convenience and proximity, as you're saying.
Hmm.
So this is strengths and weaknesses as compared to McDonald's.
I believe so.
Okay, that's what it seems like.
Yeah.
Um, for better service on Panda. How would they offer better service? I guess likely response to a new competitor. I'm trying to relate that to Panda. Maybe trying to think how they would respond to a new competitor. Because they don't advertise a lot. Panda doesn't do
No.
much. They have sales online sometimes, like with their
Mhm.
ordering online, you can get something maybe
Yeah.
as a special deal, but they don't send out a flyer.
No.
I don't I don't know about TV advertising. I don't see a whole lot of TV advertising for anyone because I don't watch much TV, but
Right.
um, I'm trying to think how Panda would really respond, offer better service.
Like, so let me just explain that. So, whenever I've been to Panda Express, whenever I've had interactions with like going through the line, it's a lot more personable than it is going to McDonald's, where they say like how much it is that you're supposed to pay, and then you pay them, and then you're pretty much out. Like it's a little bit more
You walk
like
through and you get it as you're there. You don't have to
right,
really wait for your food.
and you can see them putting the food together. So it's more or less that they're like working with you the whole time rather than like someone working behind the scenes.
Okay. I guess I'm thinking of the likely response to a new competitor. They do that. Panda does that now. How would
Mhm.
they improve their service, or how would they improve themselves if a new competitor came around? That's how I'm looking at it. What would they do different? That's how I was
Well,
seeing that question.
yeah, I think I'm seeing it as that is what they do differently to different competitors. Not necessarily like a brand new business, but to like the other competitors, that's how they distinguish themselves.
Okay. And, well, Chick-fil-A also does that. They're very good. They don't do it the same way, like you don't watch your food, but
Right.
they have amazing customer service. When you walk in there, you will get
Mhm.
greeted and
Right.
you will be thanked profusely. And they're very customer service oriented. So customer service, I guess, is, so I think we need to put that on there if we're going to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Arby's, they could improve their speed.
They
I would,
could
you know,
improve their speed. I don't know if it's likely for them to
yeah,
do
I know.
it.
I know.
I actually have never eaten there, so I'm just going off of those people's testimonials.
No,
Uh,
they are pretty slow. I haven't been there very often either. And they offer, it's not a chicken sandwich or a hamburger sandwich so much. It's sliced meat sandwiches. So it's a
right,
different segment of the market. Oh,
right.
so yeah, I don't know what else they would do besides they do have advertising.
Yeah. That I see all the time.
I'm gonna say maybe, or I'm thinking about on Panda, maybe
Yeah.
instead of better service, because that's kind of vague, can we clarify it with the kind of service they give? Maybe offer more personal service or immediate service.
Yeah.
I mean, you may have to wait in a line, but when you're there, you're not waiting for your food. You're when you get up there to order, it's immediately being served to you.
Right.
Does that make?
Yeah.
Just trying to clarify that a little bit, because better can be in so many different ways.
Right. So like better customer service or
Immediate service, or what quicker or immediate service. It just depends on. It won't always be quicker because you're going to be in a line sometimes,
yeah.
but you're in a line at all restaurants at
Right.
sometimes. But my point is trying to get them to recognize what we're saying is that you don't have to order and then wait for your food. You watch it and it's happening
Right then and there.
right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Um, oh man. I that I don't know if how
Well,
to
that's why I'm saying immediate, but
um
I don't know if that's.
maybe offer personable
And that's what I thought too. Personal service, maybe more personal and immediate service, or in front of you service. Ah! You know what I'm saying, though. I
yeah.
I don't know how to word that necessarily, but better is so vague that I don't know that it's clear, stating what we
Oh,
really mean there.
but it fits so well with the class.
You can put it there if you want. I will go with it.
No, it's okay.
Um,
Maybe interpersonal service. Like,
okay, because they do ask you as you go along, do you want this or do you want that? Or
yeah.
now we have to decide how we're going to capitalize things, because that's one of the things that I'll be doing when I go through and check it. Are we going to capitalize all words on this? Or are we going to capitalize just the first word?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I've been adding capitalizing to everything because there were so many words that were capitalized.
Yeah.
So we have to decide if we want.
I think we should definitely capitalize when we start like a new clause or like thought. Let's see. Oh, theirs is about as messy as ours. That's no help. Um, I think we should at least make sure that we have a comma to break up like the different thoughts. Advertising, quality food, classifiers.
So do you want, like on this one for Chick-fil-A down here, expand to meet proximity needs is the expand is capitalized, then customer service, just customer would be capitalized. We're doing it the same. We don't want customer and service to be capitalized down here when we didn't capitalize any of these other words up here in the same box. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see that.
Offer promotional advertising. We wouldn't capitalize promotional. We would just capitalize offer.
I like German, like any noun is capitalized.
Right.
It makes so much more sense.
This Panda Express typically walk in. I think there should be a comma here. Price is higher. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Because it's two separate things. Gluten-free options. I agree with the phrase things. We'll just capitalize the phrases. Clean and is comma after clean. Okay, and amazing service. Okay. Great taste, quality food, impulse buyers. Oops.
Oh.
Go ahead, I'll let you do that.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, that's one of my big things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will catch all of that stuff going through, or try to anyway.
Yeah.
And I think I might bold these. I don't know what you think about this.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I made the Chick-fil-A, Arby's, and Panda Express font. Well, it was 2 sizes bigger.
I could tell it was bigger.
Yeah.
And then if we just bold all the column headings.
Yeah.
And then I think we centered these.
Yes, I did.
How do we center it top to bottom, though?
Top to bottom. Oh, that's a good question.
Let's see here.
Bottom. Oh. I could do it in Excel.
Yes.
The
Table properties. Let me see if that matters. Cell alignment. Middle. There. Got it.
Table properties.
Yeah, it's table properties, cell alignment. Are you doing that on all of them now? Oh, you're doing it on those. Yeah, I'm going to do this here for this side. Okay, there. Got it. Oh, you're going to do that for all those too. That's good. Yeah. I like it all the same, and it looks prettier when it's all centered. Did you do the Chick-fil-A, Arby's, and Panda? Is that centered or is that bottom?
These are centered and they're also bottom.
No, I mean centered top to bottom, not right to left. If we're going to do bottom for those, then I need to put them on the bottom for this competitor too. So they're lined up.
Maybe middle?
Yeah, I would do middle for that one.
I think it would look better middle.
And I think all of these right here, I don't know what you did. Did you do middle already on those?
I did bottom.
Oh, let's see what it looks. I think middle looks better visually.
Mm-hmm.
Except this is not middle. Why is this not? It has a space under it. Right?
It looks like it. There we go.
Yeah, I think it looks better middle everywhere.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's another thing. It has to look good visually.
Yeah.
even though the words say the same thing. Okay, there.
Good juice.
All right, so do we feel like that table is complete?
Yeah, I think so.
Do we feel like we need to get a little bit more? Well, maybe we can come back to that. What about the first one, the segmentation? I'm going to make that all the same. Would you make the font the same for workers, middle class, and lower? We need to make it the same as what we just did over here on this table. All of our tables need to be the same.
Yeah. They do.
But we did not, like competitor, like segmentation dimension is going to be the same as everything on the left. So it's going to be bolded. See what I'm saying? Bolded here like this. Am I making sense? And but the workers, middle class, all that is just bigger. And is it bolded too, or just bigger? It's just bigger.
Bigger.
Yeah. Okay. And then you're centering everything?
Yes.
Okay, you're centering it all top to bottom, is that right? And we need to do, okay, sorry, just a second. I'm going to highlight everything, and it's going to be centered. And it's going to be centered this way, because it's not. There. Now, why is this not centered top to bottom when that's what we said? I guess it's got space in there. Why is this? I thought this should be centered top to bottom. That's weird. It says it's top, but I highlighted all of them. How come it's not centered top? That's weird.
There we go.
Okay, I'm going to try this again. That's not working. Oops. Yeah, just get those, I guess.
There we go. Now, did we want to change some of these segments, dimensions?
You might want to.
Yeah. Come on.
Okay, segment. Yeah, I was going to say, we either need to, actually, we might want to put in a dash here. I don't know. We need to have it, yeah, wider. Workers needs to be wider because it was cutting off lots of letters. How about middle and lower class families there? We need to decide what dimensions we want to have on here. What segments? So definitely employees, workers. That was a big.
And families was really big. Maybe instead of like high school athletes, like teenagers in general.
Yeah.
And this last one, I don't know.
Well, is there another division, another dimension that we need to look at? Because there's workers, there's middle and lower class families, and there's teenagers. Are teenagers and college students enough different?
I mean, they are. They are, I think. They're influenced by similar like motives, I guess, or behaviors.
Do we have another segment we would rather use?
Right. I'm trying to think of all the interviews that we had. I did interview one old
retired.
Yeah, retired. That's a good word. They well, they could afford other places, and they seem to be more. Um, they seem to go there if it was like on the highway, or if they were like influenced by their husband.
Mm-hmm.
Because they could afford other stuff. Married. Married.
Well, I think teenagers and college students are different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, and I feel like a retired person is going to be similar to a worker. I mean, if they're going to go out to eat, they're going to go there if they want to. Not,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Right.
They're not going to be like the families are different because they have kids telling them, "Hey, we want McDonald's. We want to play in the play place."
Right.
Or we want a Happy Meal. Teenagers go there because it's quick and cheap, and they don't have a lot of time. Like for school, if they're going there for lunch,
Mm-hmm.
or they go there because it's cheap and their friends. It's not taboo to go there, because
Right.
kids don't
Okay.
have enough money
Yeah.
for it to be taboo.
And typically, college students will tend to work more part time, and yeah, they're their own. Okay, I'm convinced. Um, this probably needs to change because the size of segment is actually on the target market um, dimensions down below.
Size of segment goes into our other
Mm-hmm.
table.
Yeah.
So we don't need it here. Is that I don't know I haven't got the example one pulled up right now.
Yeah. Under the example, it's got psychographic attitude.
We should probably put that in there, I guess.
Yeah. Um, and it's lifestyles, demographic life stage, behavioristic usage, all that stuff.
Is this all right? This stuff here?
Um, yes. So should
Okay,
we
so I
talk?
need to open up. I'm sorry. I really just need to go open up the thing. Sample project 1. Psychographic attitudes, psychographic lifestyles, demographic life stage, behavioristic usage occasion. Oh. So why it must have been shown in our outline to be what you have here. I'm going to look at the outline. No, it doesn't show that at all. Where did you got this from somewhere?
Yeah, I think I got it from the segmentation example. One of those.
Sample project 1. I'm going to look at sample project 1. It's Netflix.
Yeah, if you go to the segmentation example, it's got all of that. Um, there was one that was filled out and one that was partially filled out. And so I didn't know, I think I just didn't know what to put in there. So I think I just put in from the target market selection, not knowing that that was a different
Okay,
target.
so we need to change it. Is that right?
Yes.
Does it go down in the target market selection one? Not really.
It does.
Some of it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they pretty much have the same groupings on the segmenting the market as they do on their target market.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same groups.
Right.
So we can use the same groups down there and just move it.
Yep.
Do you need me to do anything, or are you just moving stuff? Or
I'm just moving stuff.
okay.
Why is it doing that? No, bugger.
Now you do have, like, in their occupation, that's part of their psychographic or whatever
Mm-hmm.
thing.
And paste.
So psychographic attitude would be how people feel about McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. There we go. All right, so I copied all of the size, so we can put in that. Oh, where is it? Psychographic attitude. E. Psychographic attitude.
I don't think there'd be a colon here. Is there a colon? Oh, psychographic attitude. There is. I see. It's just supposed to all be on one line, but we don't have our font that way. So we're going to have to do something like this. Or make this font smaller.
Let's make this font smaller.
Hold on a second. There.
All right, so where's my book? So if I remember right about the attitudes, I think it's just how the individuals in that segment feels towards the organization for like why they would go there.
Why they would go there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But
so like workers, I need something fast and that tastes good for my lunch break.
Right.
So you want me to type that in there?
Yeah.
quick. I'm going to say quick. That tastes good on my lunch break. Should I say I need, or because if we're going to do that up there, I need to say I need a place for my kids to play with food that suits their tastes as well as mine. Something like that. Here.
Yeah.
Food to suit their tastes as well as mine.
Teenagers, I think they need a place just to hang out with friends and to buy cheap food.
Mm-hmm. I need a place my kids enjoy. I'm not going to say to play because not everybody goes there to play, even kids. They need to enjoy it though.
Some just go for the toys and those Happy Meals.
Yeah. So I need a place my kids enjoy with food to suit their tastes as well as mine. With my friends and get cheap food.
Yep. I was really so I think most of the people we interviewed for McDonald's like would go there for their soft serve ice cream.
Yeah, a lot of them said that.
Like that was super specific.
Yeah, their ice cream does taste good.
It does. And for like $1 or whatever,
yeah,
it's totally worth it.
So, okay, so college students, they need cheap.
Yes.
And fast. To me, they're almost like workers, except they're not on their lunch break necessarily. They need cheap food that tastes good with quick service. But they don't want to hang around necessarily. They don't, not just for lunch either.
How about that?
Yeah. That's good. Okay.
Good start. All right. What is the next part? Behaviors that is safe.
So behaviors, is that one of the psychographic things?
It's the
behavioristic.
Fourth one down.
Why they use it?
Actually, this is fourth and fifth. What the heck?
So where is the example of the assignment that has the blank tables? Which one is that?
It is the size 44 kilobytes with the segmentation and positioning charts. It is the one that is blank.
Segmentation and positioning charts. Got it.
Because I think the segmentation is part of it is really open because there is an infinite amount of different segments we could specifically segment to. The book had a couple of examples of what sort of kinds of segmenting they did.
Okay, so the next thing is supposed to be the demographic. What life stage are they in? Is that right?
Yes, that's what we chose.
It also has on this one, this example, demographics, discretionary income, medium, low, high, low, varies, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going off that example. This one's filled out, but then there's one that's blank that I'm going to look at next. Competitive analysis, segmenting the market.
Yeah, it says underneath that chart that this chart is for illustrative purposes only. You must come up with the segmentation dimensions that work best for your market. Some of these dimensions may be poor segmentation tools for your market. I think what we've started with so far is pretty good.
Yeah. It's fine. But then this competitive analysis, isn't that what we're working on right now?
That's what we just had done. The one with Chick-fil-A, Arby's, and
Oh, so it's in a different order.
it is.
Oh.
That's kind of, yeah. I feel like the sample connected 4 and 3 together for a lot of it.
See, I'm just looking at the blank example, the one with just the grids.
Mm-hmm.
Segmenting our competitive analysis. Let's see. Segmenting the market is the segmenting dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look at that. Oh, I'm going to get this out of here. Segment dimension, not segmentation. Okay. And then the next one, why does it keep doing that? Is competitive analysis. Now, it's the one that looks like what you had. Okay. So it is this. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get myself clear on this, what they want. And it says to pick whatever we want, but the example picks psychographic and demographic themes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're doing that.
Yeah.
Because the example did. Okay. I get it. I was just wondering where that came from.
Yeah. The book, it was on page 133 and 134 for the segmentation, and there wasn't enough qualitative data to be able to even come up with what the other groups had. Like, it talks a little bit about psychographic segmentation, demographic segmentation, value segmentation, behavioral segmentation, and need segmentation.
Well, could values be one that we would use? Because people value quick, clean, tasty, fresh, service.
Yeah.
Would that be considered values?
I think so.
Because to me, those are the biggest things I saw. If they're going to eat somewhere fast food, they want it to be quick because it's fast food. They want fresh ingredients, and they want the building to be clean, and they want it to taste good.
Right. So maybe we can take away this occupation one and then put in the value segmentation.
I got to look at that really quick. Yeah, I don't know that we need the occupation. I don't think that really impacts because we're saying they're workers.
Right. And we've already got the income demographics.
Yeah. And we need to put demographic income. Yeah. Here, I'll make that small. I'll make that all fit.
Thanks. I think it's supposed to be values after.
Okay, I'll. Then this behaviors, what's that called? What do we call that?
There is a behavioral segmentation.
Yeah, it says behavioristic usage occasion or behavioristic benefits sought. What are the different options? Do I need to go to the textbook and see what different behavioristic things I should put in there, or?
Well, there is one paragraph that allocates customers into groups based on their uses or responses to a product or service.
Okay, so behavioristic, like why they would go. What's the reason they would go there? And most, I don't know. That seems like it would be what they value too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can also be grouped into high levels of usage or low levels of usage. I think that would be
okay. Well, based on our analysis, there are no high levels of usage.
No.
Which was very shocking to me.
I thought so too.
I haven't seen anyone that eats there more than once a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I only interviewed a couple who ate like about twice or so a month.
No, and maybe that is more often. I don't know.
But I mean, it is really good information, though. Like, but yeah.
So the one that is called behaviors of segment, what would we call that? Behavioristic colon what?
Oh man. Well, the way it looks like it was written, which I think I did, would be the benefit sought.
Yeah, I think the benefit sought and behaviors of segment are they're very similar.
Right.
I'm reading what was written here, and they're the same words worded a little differently.
Yep.
So we just need one of those. We can just consolidate those into this, make them both say the same thing. But what would we call that segment? And do we have this right segmentation values? Does values go with behavioristic, or does it go with, do you know what I'm asking? I might not be clear.
Well, the values is a segmentation in and of itself. If you look on page 134, value segmentation is a segment. I just might not have written it correctly. Let's see how they got it. Psychiatric, behavioristic. So maybe it's just in values and then a colon.
I see it on 134, value segmentation. Behavioral segmentation. Okay, psychographic segmentation. So we have these, okay, so all these segmentations. We have demographic segmentation. So demographic. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Ignored that. Okay, so demographic, psychographic, values, behavioral, and needs. Those are the 5. What if we just did those 5? Psychographic, values, behavioral, needs, and the first one's demographic.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 5 that are specifically listed in the book.
Those are, I think it's more or less that those are like the introduction to such topics. So like our demographic, like we could have gone like women or men or income or race. But we could do just each of them as an overview.
We could say demographic, colon, and then whatever we are telling them, age or...
Mm-hmm. Which is what we did for the income.
Right. So that, I'm just saying if we use those 5 and did those 5 as our column titles.
Okay.
Like we'll just use one from each of them. Like we'll pick, so on demographics, we're going to pick age or income? Are we picking income to focus on?
I think income is good because we've already pulled those demographics.
Well, because you will see the age by who they are. The workers, they're going to be, they're going to be a certain age, 20 to 55 or 60, probably 20 to 60. Middle and lower class families, they're going to be 30 to 50. Teenagers are going to be teenagers, and college students are going to be college students. So you kind of know the age by what group they are.
That's
we don't need that.
Very true. So we've got psychiatric, we've got behavior.
Psychiatric. Sorry.
Psychographic. Oh man.
That's funny. Psychiatric. Okay. So we have one from demographic. We're choosing to be income. Then we want to have one psychographic, and we're going to use their attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Then values segmentation. Mm-hmm. So values : like what's desirable or what they want. Wants, maybe. Wants.
I can.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay, and then behavioral would be their why. I'm trying to think. It says in here under behavioral. Oh, shoot. I pulled this out of here on accident. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Sticking this back in. Behavioral would be things like buyers can be grouped according to occasions or life events, such as graduations, when they get an idea to buy product or service, when they actually make their purchase, or use the purchase. They could be also segmented into non-users, ex-users, potential users, first-time users, and regular users of a product.
Oh, so one of the things we asked all of our people is like who influences like mm-hmm. you go in there. So like behavioral, we could have there is like
influence or something.
Influence, like others' influence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we could do that. So put behavioral. I'll put the AL on there. Okay. Other influence. Here, I'm going to put that.
Yeah.
So, now you're not do we have that information somewhere?
It's all basically down here on the needs. It was the same, like as you said, it was the same thing, just written differently.
Yeah, it was, but yeah.
I know. That's fluff. It was all fluff.
Okay, so needs would be our other one. And if I read about needs segmentation, it assigns consumers into groups based on their current and desired level of interaction with a particular market category. Consumers classified by needs are asked to rate their level of agreement with statements about how they feel. Automotive consumers can be classified based on their needs for storage space, horsepower, towing capacity, and many other characteristics. So the needs would be like, what kind of food do you enjoy eating the most? Or what do you need in a fast food restaurant? Do you need more need than want? Our values and wants are different than the needs.
Right.
Spouse, I'm going to put on workers, co-workers. They do influence. Like if someone says, I feel like McDonald's today, then they'll probably, one person will go get 4 people's lunch or something.
Right.
Or they'll all go out or.
Yeah.
spouse, coworkers,
Oh,
and themselves. Well, I guess we don't put that down.
so maybe needs as like
What are you saying?
trying to think of the needs. Maybe like price. Should we like look at the price of the food? Or
Yeah, I think price would be definitely one thing to consider on that. I'm just going to write all the wants in here really fast. They're not necessarily all for this category. I'm just saying fresh, tasty, quick, good service, clean. Those are all the things that we'll put across this column. I just didn't want to forget them. Sorry.
okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
college
I
students.
have to laugh real quick.
What?
So last night, I got a random text message from somebody, and rather than just telling him he got the wrong number, I played along with it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he just responded to me
Did he
from last.
respond to you again?
Yes, he did. Apparently, I had the same number as his ex, and apparently, I got the phone number like right after they had discontinued that number.
Oh my goodness.
It was the most funny conversation I have ever had, and this was happening about almost 11 o'clock last night.
So you're pretending to be the ex,
Well,
but you didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I didn't know who I was supposed to be, so I just kept the conversation going. I told him that I had took an arrow in the knee. He's like, "What the heck did you get? Like, get you?" Yeah, I'm normally not mischievous, but last night I just had the bug. So
It just came upon you. You couldn't help it.
yeah, I just have to find a way to like put this conversation into like I don't know how to like make this conversation into like a document or something. I mean, I could just write it out, but oh
Yeah,
my
you
gosh,
could.
it was hilarious.
Did you tell him finally?
Yes. He's like, "Thank you for the most odd conversation with the wrong number." So that's why I started laughing. Oh, it made my day. So you got the fresh, tasty, quick, good service,
I
clean.
wanted to make sure that I went through all of our interviews and got out what people want in a fast food restaurant. They want food that's fresh, they want it to be tasty, they want it to be served fast. They want it to be, be good service in the restaurant. They want the restaurant to be clean. And I think there might be other things, but and then we need to assign those to these categories based on what they most care about.
Mm-hmm.
Like teenagers are going to want it to be
Fast.
tasty, and cheap. That was one of the biggest things, cheap.
Yeah.
Well, but that may not. Okay, don't delete those yet, because we want to make sure that we word. I mean, this may be important information.
Right.
So, want in fast food versus price. Need, the price is a need for people, teenagers and college students and families, typically. And workers, I would say it's not just a mid-salary range. Sorry, I'm going to income all of a sudden. I feel like it could be it could be various.
Mm-hmm. They can.
I'm going to put various. What if we, okay, so we have middle and lower class families. I
Mm-hmm.
guess that mainly is who we interviewed, I guess. So yeah, we'll just leave it like that.
Yeah.
I was saying it could just be families, but let's, and it basically is middle and lower class workers as well, because we didn't interview anybody that made, I don't know. I don't know what's considered higher than, what's middle class? Where does that end
So,
income wise?
that is a good question, but I think for taxes it's like 150,000.
Okay. Well, I might have interviewed one couple that was over that.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody else was close to that. Okay, yeah, that's enough. Okay. Um, yeah, yeah. Because I think everybody wanted pretty much the same services, even if McDonald's could not provide the cleanliness
Yeah.
that
I
they.
don't think teenagers mention clean so much.
No.
I only interviewed my son, and he wasn't as concerned about that, I don't think. Let me see what he said. Um, he's more concerned with the quality of food than the time he takes to get it.
Okay. Yeah, well, my brother, he said that he expects the service to be fast, taste good, and not a mess.
Yeah. See, so price and quality is more important to my son than it is to have it be fast.
Right.
So
Nice. Oh, caps lock.
price, quality. Yeah. Well, college students might be the same. Price,
Mm-hmm.
quality, and fast, right?
Yeah.
So we might want to just make them look the same. Price, quality, fast. Price.
Yeah, I think for
Are you ordering them?
I was ordering.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Okay. Wants in fast food. Ordered. Um, okay. Healthy. Middle and lower class families, healthy was a consideration. I didn't put that in here. Sorry, I'm putting healthy in as one of the things. So, convenient too. Sorry. So, for families, what's the most important thing that they're concerned about?
well, for them, I thought it was price.
Okay, so price, healthy or clean. Which one's next?
Let's see.
Convenient.
Kids, no kids, no kids, has kids. Convenient, definitely.
I'm not sure on the teenagers that I would even put the fast thing in there. Maybe it's just because my son was the only one that's a teenager that was interviewed, but as far as I know, was there
Oh,
more?
my youngest brother is.
Okay, and he put fast on his. He likes it to be fast.
Yes, yes, he did. Cat.
I'm putting healthy in here because for families, there was definitely moms who wanted the food to be healthier for their kids and for themselves.
Mm-hmm. They did.
We're taking cheap out and we're putting price down. Fresh, huh?
Go ahead.
Okay, so for workers, what do they value the most?
Well, the convenience of it being quick.
Okay.
I wouldn't say healthy. I would get rid of the healthy. But quick, definitely.
Yep.
Freshness, I don't think they really care about freshness too much.
They like, I think, taste.
Taste, yes.
For them, so.
With the capital T, which rhymes with T. That's so cool.
We're just putting taste in there then. Taste.
Quick.
It's either quick or fast. We need to determine what one we're using. Because we have fast down on the college students.
Yes. Fast it is.
Okay. Service. Do they? Which group values service? Because there were several. Might have been the moms.
Yeah, I think it was the moms that really cared about service. I think most people mentioned how like they had an order that was gone on.
You think what?
There was a lot of people who mentioned how McDonald's tends to have the orders be wrong.
Yeah. I would just say service because it's a value. We know it's going to be the good service that they're valuing. Does that make sense?
Right.
Because we're not saying high or low price. We're saying price, meaning they want a good price.
Right.
Good quality, obviously. So it's just kind of a given. They value quality. Taste, fast, convenient. Was price a thing for workers? And cleanliness? Were those important? Maybe we'll just go through and make sure.
Let me look.
Before I'm just not going to take the time right now. I'm going to go through and.
Yeah, it looks like clean was on most everybody's. Like, I mean, just with the simple search on it, they came up 19 times.
Mm-hmm.
But most of them are for the family with kids.
Mm-hmm. I think clean, if we're doing this ordered, I think it is top. It's one of the top, like maybe right after convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's pretty important to them.
Yeah. I think everyone who had children mentioned cleanliness.
Mm-hmm. Sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I also think that workers value healthy food, but I think it might be near the bottom. I don't know if you want to do a quick search on that and see, but I'm trying to think of a lot of the people that I interviewed.
Right, so we've got 13.
Maybe not. Maybe it wasn't.
But not a healthy choice at all. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so this needs price thing, which is our last thing, I'm not clear on it yet, what we're going to be putting in here.
So I think for the needs is like,
what? Oh, for just price.
Yeah.
So like workers would be like cheap, medium, I don't know. Definitely teenagers and college students would be very cheap. But I mean, I'm almost thinking everybody said when they're looking for fast food, they want it to be cheap. There were so many people who said that.
Yeah. Because I think this is like our segmentation for McDonald's itself, isn't it? Or is it segmenting towards all of fast food? Because if it's just segmenting towards McDonald's, then yes. Like
in this section, you will make the best approximation you can regarding the consumer segments that will have some possible interest in your product or service.
Okay. So yeah. But they all did mention cheap in our interview, so I think that would be appropriate to put in all of them. If we wanted to add more words, like I know some of them specifically said, like the value menu.
I'm trying to think needs. Is price the best need to focus on here? Is there another need that we can put in? And are our needs the same as the wants? Trying to separate a need versus a want in this assignment, and I'm having a hard time.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, we could also put down needs as in like time frame for like how fast the service goes.
Okay, that may be more of a want, but we could word it differently. Speed or yeah. I mean, there were some people who said 90 seconds and others who said up to 10 minutes.
Yes, there was.
So just trying to get what we should. Okay, so what's the difference between need segmentation based on their current and desired level of interaction with the product? How do you feel about this? They like buyers of a car would have to buy it based on their storage space for the car, the horsepower they need, the towing capacity they need. What would that look like for McDonald's? What would be their needs? This values one, which we are doing for wants, what they prefer and what motivates them to respond to that marketing activity, or what do they value the most in a restaurant? And I think we're pretty good there. What do they value? But I'm having a hard time saying what the need is based on our interviews. If we say price, that's fine, but we do have price on up here in the wants too.
Right. But I mean, anything can be added to wants.
Yeah.
We kind of included everything in our wants. So I mean, we could talk about what kind of food they're looking for and their needs.
Needs, as far as, but would that be considered a need? Is the fact that they prefer a chicken sandwich over a hamburger a need, or is that just their preference, their want, their value in the fast food? It seems more like a value to me. What they value is chicken over hamburger, because they could still eat a hamburger and it's still food, and that's what they need. They need food. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I see what you're saying.
So I'm trying to quantify what is a need to our people. What's a true need that came out in our interviews? Because as far as I'm concerned, a want is they want good taste. They want fast service. They want a clean restaurant. They want a good price. They want it to be convenient. which one of those qualifies as a need? Does any of that qualify to be a need?
Well, I definitely think that price would be a need.
Okay, then we probably need to take it out of our wants, our value wants list.
But we could take it out of there. I think it also goes hand in hand with wants too, because like a worker, they would be fine with paying for a meal, whereas a teenager or a college student might be, and like the middle family will like probably want to go for the value menu.
Right. So I see what you're saying. We just need to find a way to word it so it's clearly different in the way that we're looking at it. Because people want a cheaper price or want a cheaper menu, but they also, certain groups need that for their budget. Right? Is that kind of what we're saying?
Yes.
So I'm fine with leaving price in there. I'm just trying to figure out how to word this needs thing.
Maybe like price of food.
Could be. What I really want to know is if we're doing this right.
Well, I think it might be one of those things. If it's done at all, it might be done. But I mean, because the segmentation on the example is so different, I think our best guess is as good as we'll get. Hang out, food, low price.
So the example for, I'm just looking at the target market selection, which is the last graph. We have different things. Who competes for this segment? But they don't have that on there. So I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what we're going to go with. We'll figure that out there. I guess they mean the same thing. How can this target be reached? That's the same as targetability.
Let's see. Yeah, we might have just put price as too vague on our wants. That's probably because I mean, when it comes down to it, what everybody needs is food. Like,
yeah.
Look at that Myers-Briggs scale. It's pretty down at the bottom.
It is. Food and drink. Those are like, besides air.
Yeah.
Shelter. But to me, food is before shelter.
Yep.
So maybe we should put food.
We could put like what kind of food they'd be looking for. So like a worker would be looking for a meal. Same with I mean, generally like all of them would be looking for some sort of meal, but we could specify like what kind of meal, like a full combo or just like little bits of ice cream. And I think that would be more better suited for needs. It didn't really come up too much in our interviews.
Yeah, and I felt like we didn't know enough to make the interview summary, to make it be specific to what we were really looking for, because we didn't really know the process. And so I would have asked, it was too late because we had already decided and people had already done interviews, but I was thinking about it after. I would have asked people what McDonald's could do to get their attention.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it came out in the interview. But I feel like if I would have asked that direct question, I would have got people. A lot of people told me, and this is how I feel about what McDonald's can do, is they can offer a healthy option.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like salads that aren't $8. That's what I heard from several people, is healthy options that are less expensive, because they feel like the salads are more than a big meal, but a big meal would fill them up better. So they're getting gypped for buying a salad, so they don't buy a salad or they avoid it altogether because they don't want to pay for the salad.
Right.
So, because honestly, to me, a salad is cheaper to make than a hamburger. Beef is expensive.
Yes, it is.
So I don't understand why it's more expensive. And people were saying that if there was a cheaper, healthier option, they would go to McDonald's to get it.
Yeah.
And you might put ice cream down.
or ice cream would be, yep.
Down there for families. And maybe even for I don't know, not everybody, but who was it in your group that mentioned it?
Oh, so my brother did ice cream. My mom did, and basically all of my family members mentioned it. So all right. I think that's a lot better. Let's see if we can get this. Okay. 1, 2.
Sorry, I'm going to uncapitalize cream because we're going with the theme of capitalizing only the first word in a phrase. And then, sorry, I'm consistent. That's my job.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I appreciate it. I actually am dyslexic, so.
Really?
Yeah. So if I ever say something incorrect or write something that's like very off or close to a word, that's why.
Oh, you said that once. You did say something that was close. Well, you said psychiatric.
Yeah.
Back me up.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, last week I was reading about well, it was supposed to be evaluators. I can't remember if it was this class or the operations class, but it was I read it as elevators, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
Oh, it doesn't.
Yep. And yeah, one of the questions I had on one of my tests was did blah blah blah, or like this was an operations question. It talked about was like the Six Sigma offered like through university. It was universally, but I read it as at a university. So like, was it being offered only through a single university? And I was like, no, but it was universally.
That's funny.
That's a huge different meaning to it. So yeah, that's just my life.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're able to cope.
Yep. I get mostly right. But for the most part it's pretty good.
Okay, so we've been working on this for almost 2 hours.
I know, and we haven't even touched the target market selection. Should we just fill this in later and then talk about what we've done on Friday?
Trying to think here what we need to do. Okay, so well, yes, I mean, I think we need to wrap it up for today, but let's at least identify the segments, the target market selection segments, because right now it's worded differently than what the example shows.
Oh, so there's that sample, let's see, in the sample project. Well, yeah. I don't know where I got those wordings from, but I know I got them from somewhere.
I know you did. I know you didn't make it up, but we need to decide what these are, what we're going to segment based on. Now, I will say that targetability down at the bottom, how can the target be reached? That would be targetability. So it's the same there. Does that make sense? Like that. So we just need to decide what we're calling it and call it that. What are the target's unmet needs? That would be unmet needs. So I think they just shorten them. Satisfied with competition. Are the members satisfied with what the competitors offer? Same thing. Competition, that would be the same as who competes for the segment.
Right.
And the size of, it's all the same. They're just worded different. That's all. So we can leave it the same. We can just leave it like this.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to hold these. So I guess let's just give ourselves assignments and try and complete them. I would like to really get this done by like Thursday, so it's done before the meeting, so that we can say to people, okay, write the executive summary. Like, I think everybody needs to be done with their parts before we meet on Friday. And then we meet, make sure that people are done and what wrap-up things need to be done. Like, Stephen needs to do the executive summary, but he needs to do it when all the information's in.
Right.
But I'm not clear on what else we need to do. We've got to fill out this table, this one last table. And then we have to do, it looks like we have to put the primary target market and the rationale for what we're doing there.
Correct. And yeah, we do need to finish those questions that are up above. I started working on number 3, and then I didn't even get to number 4 quite yet for the competition analysis.
Number 4, I'm trying to see in this thing, in the example, where number 4 is. Is that competitive environment? Is that number 4?
Well, yeah, it's right underneath the competitive analysis. Like if you look in the sample project.
What segments are most likely to be unsatisfied with the competition's product offering? That says number 4 on here. That's weird. Yeah, oh, competitive environment. There's 4 questions.
That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's what I think that I honestly think that the competition or competitive environment was a connection of number 3 and number 4 in the assignments. And because James isn't here, that kind of falls on us too, because that goes with the SWOT.
Segmenting the market summary. So we need to write a segmenting the market summary. We need to answer 4 questions for the competitive environment. And we need to do a summary of the competitive analysis. And under the target market, who is the primary and what's the secondary, and then our brand position statement. I really feel like we have a lot to do.
Yeah.
I think it was a little more than I realized.
Yep. Same, but yeah, I think we could definitely have it done by Thursday.
Yeah. So we need to give ourselves assignments so that we can just finish them without having to be on a meeting together. So that we don't, you know what I mean? And then we can meet on Wednesday maybe, or Thursday maybe, real quick, and just make sure we're done with our part. And that we agree on everything.
Yeah, we could.
What do you think about that?
We could. It would probably have to be early in the morning. Um,
On Thursday?
yeah. Um, I could do 9, 10 o'clock if that works for you.
Thursday is the day that I work, but I can squeeze in a meeting.
We could do later too. Let's see. That meeting takes a while. Gosh, it's. I could do like 6 o'clock.
On Thursday night.
Yeah.
I have a meeting for my other class at 7. 7? Is that right? Yeah, 7. So I could do 6, but I'd have to be done by 7.
Okay.
Is that better for you than like 9 in the morning?
I could do 9 in the morning if that would work for you. It's just.
9 would work for me, and it might work better just because dinner time is really hard, and I already have a meeting at 7.
Okay. We will do 9 in the morning Thursday. Do we have any other projects for this class? I really hope we don't.
Yeah, we have 3.
Oh gosh.
This is our first of 3. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
But this is mainly what we're supposed to do for this week. But I feel like if we hadn't done our interviews last week, I would feel like it was too much to finish.
Right.
I don't know why he would say do your interviews this week and evaluate everything and make these tables and write everything up all this week. That's a lot.
Right.
I think it's a lot to do what we have to do, and we were ahead of the game.
I agree, and we had a lot done even before
Yeah.
meeting now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, yeah, I really wonder about BYUI sometimes. Like
Well, I'm wondering about this class. I don't feel like it's super organized. I feel like some BYUI stuff, yeah, it does. We struggle with some areas in classes, for sure.
Yep. Like I have one professor who keeps on posting like to the weekly discussion board as a student, and so you can't see it.
Oh.
And we've emailed him about it.
You need to actually message us so we know, like put an announcement out there.
Like this is the question you're supposed to have rather than post it like as if you're a student then and expect everyone else to magically know what your question is. So yeah, it's little things like that there's just all over. Or making an assignment where the last thing you're supposed to do first is the last thing that you're told about.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what I think he meant by the last shall be first, or the first shall be last.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, okay. I think we also have some work to do with. So we're doing this number 4 section for the most part, and people are writing the evoked set for McDonald's. We have some of the major competitors are Burger King, Wendy's, and Subway. Well, those aren't even 3 of the one. We're not evaluating those at all.
No.
So we need to make sure we get it in there.
Oh, yes.
We have to make it consistent throughout because they don't know who we're going to be evaluating.
Yep. Oh, man. Well, I think we need to send out an email then saying that, hey, change your stuff. Because everything did change because everything has to be based off of what our field work was. So yes, but I don't think that's our responsibility to do everybody else's portion, even if they have already completed their portion. So.
Well, and everybody knows they need to go back and make sure it reflects what the surveys say. the
Right.
summaries say. And we just need to say it needs to match what the summaries say, and this is what we found to be the most pertinent information. Look at the grids that we filled out. You know,
Right.
look at those, and your stuff needs to mention the companies that are in there. You know, for the most part. I mean, they can still mention Subway and Burger King, but they also need to mention Chick-fil-A and Panda and Arby's. You know, I'm thinking about Arby's, and I'm wondering if we shouldn't put in Taco Bell instead. And the reason I say that is because I heard more about Taco Bell than I heard about Arby's.
Yeah. The people who I read was before that last group of interviews came out, and so Taco Bell was mentioned more. It was so I mean we could put Taco Bell in there.
Because yes, I heard Arby's mentioned, but I don't think I heard it mentioned as much as I heard Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Or Mexican in general.
Right. But, yeah, one of the people who talked about Taco Bell mentioned how it was healthy, and it's like, do you really
I know, I saw that. I was like,
really know what's put in there?
That's
Like,
perception.
it is about perception.
So not that I want to change anything and do more work, but we might need to make sure that we're just representing the most, you know, things that were mentioned the most.
Yeah. And what is right?
Well, I'm going to move the brand positioning statement down to the very bottom. It's probably not going to stay the same, but it is. It belongs at the bottom. Okay, so what do you want to do to finish up the?
Well, I can complete the questions that I was talking about on the competitive analysis.
So those 4 questions.
Yes.
So do you want me to do the target market selection and the secondary target market selection?
Sure.
And I can finish that grid, maybe? Try and get that grid filled in?
Okay, that sounds
I'll
good.
try and do the target market selection and the rationales and all that, and fill in that grid, and take a good stab at the brand positioning statement.
Okay.
If you'll do the competitive environment, those 4 questions, and if you will do the segmenting the market summary, I will also get the SWOT analysis, try and fit it in there and make it look good, make sure it's done. Try and see if it's number 3, but we need to get it into our document.
So where did you find this segmenting market summary?
Well, I just see on the example one, the Netflix example, it's above the segmenting the market grid. They just have a segmenting the market summary. So I don't know if it's needed. It's just here.
Oh, that is interesting. I do see
So if you read what they wrote, we could just write the same thing about it.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Just summarizing our findings in this grid.
Yeah, I can do that.
So you do grid 1 and 2. I'll do grid 3, the brand positioning statement and the SWOT analysis. Make sure that's good, because yes, he turned it in, but I haven't even looked at it. And then I'm also going to get everything all into one place and try and start making it look uniform everywhere. I know Brandon said he would do it, but he's not really doing what he said he would do, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm good at that.
This, I feel like the vastness of this project has made it a lot harder to complete as a group, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are dividing it up because you have to with group projects. You have to divide it up, but
Right.
dividing it up makes it not consistent.
Right.
They don't know what the left hand is doing. The right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. They can't see that we did these things because we found out later that it all has to be based off these summaries. Well, they've already all written their parts. They're going to have to go back and rewrite it to make sure it reflects everything we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that last night. So it's true. They will have to do it, and they're going to need to know it. So
yeah,
I think they'll do it, and I think everybody's willing to. And honestly, they each have a couple of paragraphs, and we have 3 graphs and about 7 paragraphs. So we have the biggest part.
Yeah. That is true. That is true.
Okay, so I'm going to be working on consistency and flow, and then the final grid and all the things that go with it in the brand positioning statement. You're working on the first 2 grids and what goes with them. Got it?
What are you talking about, the first 2 grids? You're talking about the first 2 tables?
Yeah, you're working on tables, the segmenting the market
And
the
competitive
analysis.
Okay, yeah.
And the 4 questions that go with the competitive analysis. I'm doing the target market selection, and the primary target market and the reason for that, and the brand positioning statement, and the SWOT analysis, which was number 3.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes.
And then I'll be going over everything to make sure it's all uniform and pretty.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you very much. We'll have to do this again sometime.
Say that again?
We'll have to do this again sometime,
Yeah,
like
I'm
Thursday.
Pretty sure we'll have to on Thursday. So, all right, I'll be working on a little bit more and today probably, and then yeah, I'll get it finished up by Thursday. Except any questions I might have.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll work it out.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fine. Honestly, on this, I think if we show real effort and it's reasonably consistent, I think we're going to do fine.
Yeah.
One thing we ought to look at is the rubric for the grades.
Yeah.
How it grades it to make sure we're doing that.
Yeah, I think he showed us examples of like people who did well. Yeah. If it looks anything like it, we should do fine.
Yeah. Okay.
So, all right. Well, cheers.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.